Hello everyone, this is our Junior Certificate Mathematics lesson, and today we are looking at revision 1 of Mathematics paper 1. My name is Raguane Khare. Before we can look at the revision questions, let us have a look at the techniques that we usually use when revising. It says exam study techniques. Practice past exam papers. This is the most useful way of revision because it gives you the taste of how an exam paper looks like. And then 2 says, make sure you start revising early. It is very important that you start revision early so that you can consult where you don't understand. You can have time to go and consult your teachers where in questions that you do not understand. And then 3, turn your cellular phone off. You know, cell phones can be your worst enemy when revising. So it is important that you turn them off so that you can concentrate in your revision. And then the 4th point saying, have a set of mathematical instruments with you. In paper 1, it is very important that the resource that you have with you is a set of mathematical instruments, because in some questions you are going to be required to construct. So it is important that you have the set with you. And then let us start the revision. It says revision questions. The first question says, the price of a car is 45,000 pula. The price of a car is 45,000 pula. The car is sold to a customer at 15% discount. What is the selling price of the car? So, 1, we are told that the car is sold at 45,000 pula. And then there is a discount of 15%, meaning we are to calculate the 15% of 45,000 pula, then subtract that amount from 45,000 pula. That will give us the selling price of the car. Let us calculate this and see what we will get. It's 15%. So this is 15 out of 100, because percentage simply means out of 100. So it's 15 out of 100 times the price, which is 45,000. So never mind about the units. We are interested in the numerical value. So it's 15 over 100 times 45,000. And then this cancels this. The 0 here cancels this one. So what do we have? We have 15, rather, it's 450, multiply this by 15, and then what will we get? This will be 0 here, and then 1 times 5, rather 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, and then 1 times 4 is 4. And then what if we multiply by the 5 here? 5 times 0 is 0, and then 5 times 5 is 25, carry 2. 5 times 4 is 20, then 20 plus 2 is 22. And then what do we have? It's 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 5 is 5, and then 5 plus 2, this is 7, and then 4 plus 2 is 6. This is simply saying the 15% of 45,000 pula is 6,750. So this means there is a discount on the price 45,000 pula. So we have to subtract this 6,750 from 45,000 pula to get the selling price, because there was a discount. Let us subtract and see what we'll get. It's 45,000 minus 0 here, 5, 7, 6. Right, this is 45,000 pula minus 6,750. 0 minus 0 is a 0 here. 0 minus 5, we cannot subtract 5 from a 0 there, so it means we are going to borrow 1 from the 5 here. When it gets to this 0, is 10, then borrow another 1 there, it becomes 10 that side. So it's 10 minus 5 is 5. And remember, we no longer have 10 at this 0 here, but a 9. Then 9 minus 7 is a 2. And then here we got a 4. but we cannot subtract 6 from 4. So we'll borrow 1 from the 4 here, so that we got 14. 14 minus 6, it's 8. And then here we are remaining with 3. So the answer that we are having is 38,250. After working this out, let us go, because this is a multiple choice question, so we need to go and check our alternatives. If at all we got that answer there, we should have it in our alternatives. Now let us check. If that's the answer that we get, it means that is the correct answer we expected. So our alternatives, the first alternative is 38,250, and B 39,250, C 44,325, and then D is 51,750. So the answer that we got is 38,250, which is the first alternative. Then you circle your answer. In this case, it's A. So by doing this, you have answered this question correctly. You must be very careful. Don't guess answers. You must work them out. You don't just say, no, because it's multiple choice, let me just pick the answer there. No, you work it out. It's very important that you work the question out before you can choose the alternative. Okay, let us have a look at the second example. Not the third, but the second. The second question, rather. It says, the cost of 5 loads of sand is 1,650. What is the cost of 3 loads of sand? We told that 5 loads of sand will cost 1,650. What is the cost of 3 loads? Right. This simply means 5 is to 1,650. And then what is the cost of 3 loads of sand? And then 3 loads will cost, say, X. So what does it mean? By cross multiplying, you'll get 5x, it's equals to 1,650 divided by, rather, times 3. Then that's when you can divide by 5 on both sides. Divide by 5. Right. 5 here once, 5 here once. So this side we are remaining with x. X is equals to 5 into 5 here is once. 5 into 16, it's 3. Remainder 1, because 5 times 3 is 15. So it's 3 remainder 1. And then 5 into 15, again here it's a 3. And then 5 into 0 is 0 here. So we got 330 times 3. And then what is 330 times 3? Just multiply. 330 times 3. 330, multiply this by 3. This will be 0 here. 3 times 3, this is 0. Right. 3 times 3, it's 9. And then 3 times 3 again, it's 9. The question says, what is the cost of 3 loads of sand? So you go to your alternatives and then check if you're told the answer that you got here, 990. Do you have it here? The first alternative is 8,250. The second one is 2,750. The third one, which is C, is 990. I don't have to go to C because this is the answer that we are having here. It's a C. It corresponds to, or rather is equals to what we calculated. We got 990. So the alternative C is the correct answer to this question. You circle it. Right. Before we go for a short break, remember this is a multiple choice question and you are supposed to work questions out. Don't guess them. Remember, we are discussing revision questions for Mathematics Paper 1 Junior Certificate. Let us work on the task at hand. We are at question number 3 now. It says, what is the size of angle M shown in the diagram below? So we got the diagram here, and then we are to find the value of M. Right. When we look at the 2 lines here, this line and then this one, these are what we call vertical opposite angles. The angle is 36 degrees here, and then the angle over here will also be 36. So this angle here is 36 degrees. These are vertically opposite angles. So the angle here is 36 degrees. And then the two lines, this line and then this one, they are equal. If these two lines are equal, it means the angle that we'll have here also will be M. So this will be M. And then we got a triangle here. We know that the sum of the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So this simply means M plus M plus 36 degrees should give us 180, because the sum of the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. M plus M is 2M. Then this will be equals to 180 minus 36. So let us subtract 36 from 180. It's just 180 subtract 36. 0 minus 6, we have to take 1 from the 8 here, then it will be 10. So 10 minus 6 is 4. And remember, we are no longer having 8 here, but a 7. 7 minus 3, it's 4. And then we got a 1 here. So this simply means 2M, it's equals to 144. 2M is equal to 144. And then we'll divide both sides by 2, because we have to solve for M. We need to find the value of M. So we'll divide both sides by 2. Divide by 2. 2 here once, 2 here once. And then on this side, it means we got M, it's equals to, then 2 into 1 is a 0, and then 2 into 14, it's 7. 2 into 4, it's a 0. Let us check it. 2 into 4 into 14, this is 7, and then 2 into 4, it's not 0 but a 2. You see, it's not a 0 but a 2. Right, 2 into 4, this is 2. So M is equals to 72 degrees. M is equals to 72 degrees. You go to your alternatives and then check. Do you have 42 in the alternatives given? The first alternative there is 36 degrees. Be careful there. M is not equals to 36. So the A there, the alternative A is not correct. B, 72 degrees. That's what we got. So our answer is B. So remember to circle it, because this is a multiple choice question. You need to indicate your answer by circling the correct answer. So we have to circle B here, because that's what we got upon calculating. Right. Let us continue with our discussion and have a look at another revision question. It says the point 67 is the point at the center of a line segment joining the points 2D and 10, 9. What is the value of D? So we have to find the value of D. It says the point is 67, is the point at the center of a line segment joining the points 2D and 10, 9. What is the value of D? So we got a line here, and then in this line we are told that one of our point, it's joining the points is 2D. So this will be the coordinate point 2D, and then this other part here is 10, 9. 10, 9. And then it says the point 67 is the point at the center. So the center is at this point. The center will divide the line 2D and 10, 9 into two equal parts. So this simply means the point 67 will be the middle point here. So this is the midpoint. The point 69 is the midpoint of the line over there. And then it says, what is the value of D? Meaning we are to calculate the value of D. We use the concept of midpoint theorem. So this will be, it's the midpoint, the value of the midpoint will be, it's 2 plus 10, not 19, but plus 10. It's 2 plus 10 divided by 2, and then we will have, it's a d plus 9 divided by 2. Okay, this is what we have. Remember, m is the coordinate of the midpoint, and then from here we are told that the coordinate of the midpoint is 6, 7. So this will be 6, 7, because m is the midpoint. 6, 7 will be equals to 2 plus 10 is 12 divided by 2. This will be 6, and then d plus 9 divided by 2. 6, this is the x coordinate, is equals to 6, and then 7, which is the y coordinate, will be equals to d plus 9 over 2. So this is an equation. We simply need to solve for d. Let us solve for d. This simply means 7 is equals to d plus 9 divided by 2, meaning we have to multiply both sides by 2. So 14 will be equals to, because when you multiply by 2 on both sides, it will be times 2 this side, multiply by 2 as well this side. Then this 2 cancels this one, and then 14 will be equals to d plus 9, meaning d is equals to 14 minus 9. And then what is 14 minus 9? 14 minus 9 is 5. So d will be equals to 5. 14 minus 9 is 5. Go to the solutions there. You got A as 5, B 8, C 16, and then D 23. Upon working this out, we found that our D is equals to 5. So this simply means our answer should be 5. In this case, it's A. So you circle A. We are revising mathematics paper 1, and remember, it's a multiple choice paper. So try to make sure that you work out questions before you can look at the alternatives, to avoid situations where you are going to pick an answer before working it out. So try to work the questions first, then get the correct answer, then check from the alternatives. Does it correspond? Does any of those alternatives corresponds to what you got? Let us continue and have a look at the question that follows. Question number 5 says, Tebogo is x plus 1 years old. Mpo is 2, open the brackets, x plus 1, close the bracket, years old. Which of the following shows the sum of their years? It says, which of the following shows the sum of their years? So one, you need to understand what the word sum here means. It says, which of the following shows the sum of their years? So by sum, we are simply saying you are to add. So you are to add the two expressions, x plus 1 and 2, open the brackets, x plus 1. So you simply have to add this. Let us add this. What you have here is x plus 1 plus 2, open the brackets, x plus 1. So this will be x plus 1 plus, you now have to open up the brackets. The 2 here outside the brackets is multiplying everything inside the brackets over here. So 2 times x is 2x. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So this will be plus 2. And then we can now collect the like terms. X and 2x, these are like terms. 1 and 2 are like terms. So let us collect the like terms. We got x and then we got this. So these are like terms. Let us collect them and then simplify. Collect the like terms and then simplify. X plus 2x, this will be 3x. And then 1 plus 2 is plus 3. So the sum of x plus 1 and 2, open the brackets, x plus 1 is 3x plus 3. You go to the alternatives and then check. Do you have this in your answers there? A says 3x plus 2. This is not what we got. B is 3x plus 3. And this is what we got. We therefore now circle A, rather B, because 3x plus 3, which is what we worked out, it's equals to the answer given at B. So the correct answer to this question is B. Remember to circle B because you answer this by circling the correct answer. Okay, let us have a look at another example, rather question, not an example, because this is a revision material. What is 54 kilometers per an hour in minutes per second? So this is simply saying convert 54 kilometers per an hour to minutes per second. Let us convert 54 kilometers per an hour. So we have to convert this 54 kilometers to the meters. And then to do that, the conversion factor is 1 kilometer. It's equivalent or is equals to 1000 meters. So this simply means we are going to multiply 54 by 1000. This will be 54,000 meters. And then we are to divide by the hours here. So we have to convert the hours as well to the seconds. 1 hour, it's equals to 60 minutes times the 60 seconds. So 54,000 meters will be divided by 60 times 60 seconds now. And then the 0 here cancels this one. The 0 here cancels this. Right. And then 6 here, it's ones. And then what is 6 into 54? 6 into 54. 6 into 54. 6 times 6 is 36. Remember, you're not supposed to use a calculator. And then 6 times 7, that is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. And then 6 times 9. So this will be a 9 here. It's 54. 9 here. And then 6 into this 0 is 0. So what do you have? You have 90 meters divided by 6. Remember the 6 here. And then we can cancel by 3 seconds rather. 3 here, it's a 2. 3 into 9, it's a 3. 3 into 0 is 0. So this is just 30 over, this is 30 over 2. And then what is 30 divided by 2? This will be here once. And then what about 30 into 2 into 3? It's 1 into 15. This is 5. We can see that when we divide 30 by 2, we get 15. So this is simply saying this is 15 meters per second. This is simply saying when you change 54 kilometers per an hour to meters per second, you'll get 15 meters per second. You now have to check the answers that you have as your alternatives. The first alternative is 0.15 meters per second, B 1.5 meters per second, C 15 meters per second, and then D is 150 meters per second. So we got 15 meters per second. This is alternative C. You circle C to show that you have answered this question. Okay, let us move on to the next question. In a competition, a team won 12 gold medals, 9 silver medals, and 15 bronze medals. What is the ratio in the simplest form of gold medals to silver medals to bronze medals? So the ratio has to be expressed in its simplest form. This will be it's gold medals to silver. So the gold medals we got 12 is 2, and then the silver medals, let's look at the question, because there is a problem that sometimes you may change the answers, the questions, rather the numbers given. So it's very important that you check the gold medals corresponds to 12, and then the silver medals, which is 9, gold medals to silver, so we have 12 to 9 is 2, and then the bronze medals to bronze medal, it will be 15. So the ratio is 12 is to 9 is to 15. And we must make sure that we simplify this ratio, because the question says what is the ratio in its simplified form. So we'll have to look for the lowest common, rather the highest common factor, which can go into 12, 9 and 15, and that factor is 3. 3 into 12 is 4 is 2, and then 3 into 9 is 3 is 2, and then 3 into 15, this is 5. So we have 4 is to 3 is to 5. This is simplified. There is no other number which can go into 4, 3 and 5. So we now check in our alternatives. 4, 3, 5. 3, 4, 5 A is not correct as per our working. B, 5, 4, 3. C, 5, 3, 4. And then the one that corresponds to our answer 4, 3, 5 is D. So this simply means the correct answer to this question is D. You circle D. Okay, this is how we revise mathematics when rather you are given a multiple choice paper. Make sure that you work the questions out before you can check the alternatives, to avoid situations where you'll be influenced by the given alternatives. Then you end up choosing the wrong answer. Make sure that you work the question out. Then after working it out, you check from the alternatives. Does your answer, the answer that you have, is there any answer in your alternatives? Then if there is, then that means that's what you think is correct after working the question out. Right. And then also remember that in this paper, you are not allowed to use a calculator. So practice working out questions without using a calculator. The only resource that you should have is a mathematical instrument here, no calculator. So make sure that you practice working out questions without using a calculator. And then the last thing, please make sure that you also keep on revising when there is still time, because if you are going to revise at a situation where there is minimal time, you will end up panicking, and try to avoid such situations. Before we end this lesson, let us have a look at the summary for today. It says, remember to always have with you a set of mathematical instruments. This is paper 1, and you are advised to always have a mathematical instrument with you, not a calculator, because in paper 1 you are going to use an instrument as opposed to a calculator. And then the other point says, it is worth mentioning that you should not guess the answers, but rather work them out and choose by circling or shading the alternative that matches with yours. So it depends here. If you ask to tick, you are going to tick. If you ask to cross, you will cross. But if it says circle the correct answer, you circle, depending on the given instruction. And please follow the instructions given on the cover page. There are always instructions there. So try to read them, understand them before you can start attempting the questions. That's all I have for you today. From me, thank you. Till we meet again in the next lesson. Bye-bye.